We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. We continue to update you with the latest developments from the conflict zones. The ongoing effects of the war are causing major upheavals not only on the front lines but also in strategic decision-making mechanisms. Recent events in the Russian army reveal the extent of these upheavals. Deepening conflicts, especially in the command structure, could lead to serious changes in strategies on the ground. These tensions have led to a major disagreement among senior commanders, and it remains to be seen how this will affect Russia's operational capability. Reports point to the fragility of Russia's chain of command and friction among generals. The rising tension among the generals has the potential to affect decision-making processes, and this situation seriously questions the effectiveness of the Russian army on the battlefield. Moreover, the animosity between the generals has the potential to affect not only field operations, but also the course of the war. Our viewers are keenly interested to see how these conflicts in the command echelon will affect the progress of the war. Throughout this broadcast, we'll share with you detailed insights into the dramatic developments among the commanders in the Russian army and how these tensions are reflected in frontline operations. As the rivalry and animosity between generals becomes more and more visible, we'll explore the consequences of this critical situation for Russia. Let's take a look together. Before we get into our report, here's a small reminder. The Anka Daily News team is definitely real. None of my team members or me are artificial intelligence. Even though AI is extremely advanced, it's still not as good as us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports. The high-profile corruption investigations and arrests, especially in the military bureaucracy, once again reveal the extent of the conflicts within the Putin administration in Russia. The recent detention of Major General Alexander Oglabin on suspicion of corruption indicates that the Kremlin is increasing pressure on high-ranking officials. Major General Oglabin, who is facing corruption and embezzlement charges, was the head of Russia's military communications department in recent years. Oglabin's detention exposes not only the corruption in the Russian defense apparatus, but also the fierce rivalries and whistleblowing mechanisms among senior officials. Moreover, the arrest offers important clues about the Putin government's strategy to clean up corruption allegations within the military. According to the allegations, Major General Oglabin allegedly took a bribe of 10 million rubles, approximately $103,000, from a telecommunications company in order to gain an advantage in defense ministry trends and try to ensure that this company won defense trends. The arrest was the result of an extensive operation by Russia's investigation community and follows a previous embezzlement case in which Oglabin was tried and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. An interesting detail behind the scenes of this turbulent process is the role of Oglabin's former superior, Vadim Shamarin, in this case. Shamarin is accused of uncovering a corruption scandal involving Oglabin, which has been an important part of the Russian defense mechanism for years. The case, notable for Shamarin's testimony against Oglabin, a former subordinate of Shamarin, has once again shown how deep the rivalry between the generals runs. Shamarin is thought to have sacrificed Oglabin to save himself from complicity. According to a Russian media outlet, Kommersant, Shamarin confessed that he shared the bribe received from the manufacturer, telephone plant Telta, with Oglabin. However, Oglaben's rearrest and Shamarin's confessions are interpreted as an operation initiated by Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu to expose corruption in the Russian military. According to the British Ministry of Defense, Shoigu's crackdown on former defense officials and the slow but steadily expanding investigation by Russia's main intelligence agency are poised to shake the internal balance of Russia's security strategy. John Foreman, Britain's former defense attaché in Moscow and Kyiv, says these operations are the latest in a year-long and growing corruption investigation. This disagreement between Shamarin and Oglabin could cause ruptures in the functioning of the military authorities. Moreover, these internal conflicts among military personnel may cause great damage not only to the chain of command in the Russian army, but also to the defense capacity of the country's military power. In light of these developments, it's also believed that Shoigu is trying to turn this war in his favor by targeting critical figures within the military. It remains to be seen whether these events are the first steps of a major comprehensive purge operation by the Kremlin. Some experts argue that Shoigu aims to establish his own team in the defense mechanism by neutralizing some generals who have grown stronger during the war. The trial of Oglabin, who was retried after a tip-off from his former superior, is expected to play a critical role in exposing corruption allegations within the Russian military. According to reports by British officials, these purges initiated by the Kremlin may not be limited to senior ranks. It's predicted that similar operations may take place in the lower ranks in the coming period. The impact of these corruption allegations on the military will not only be limited to military effectiveness, but may also cause deep damage to Russia's international image. The arrest of Major General Oglabin reveals that the Kremlin is increasing its pressure within the army, leading to deep divisions among the generals. These developments may directly affect not only the internal dynamics of the Russian military, but also the strategic moves of the war. As a challenging process continues for the Putin administration, we'll see how these tensions within the military will shape Russia's position in the war and how the Kremlin will respond. Russian leader Putin is going through one of the most difficult moments of his life. The growing chaos among Russian generals shows that the Russian army is starting to feel the deterioration of its internal dynamics more and more acutely. This can be seen as a harbinger of even bigger problems in the coming days. So, what do you think? Do you think the war in Ukraine can be seen as a turning point in the unraveling of the Russian army? How will the war between Russian generals affect the current Ukrainian war? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your ideas.